Hey my lovelies, today I'm going to be doing a first impressions of the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation, which is this one here. Picked it up a few days ago in the sales and fancied giving it a go, so picked it up. Now the colour, not sure if it's going to work for me, it's very pale. But sometimes I forget how pale I go in the winter, so I can probably make it work. But this is the colour here. This is 10NN. I say really beautiful packaging on this one. So I don't know whether you can see kind of how pale that is compared to my face, but I get a feeling I'm going to be able to make this work, because if you look at my neck at how pale that actually is, I think that is going to work, which surprises me. So I'm going to get my trusty beauty blender as always, and I forgot my mirror as always. Okay, so we're just going to take a little bit on my sponge like I would normally. So no change there. Could do with some new sponges. Mine is starting to look a bit skanky now, which isn't good. And we're going to chuck this on my face. If it does turn out too pale, I can always darken it up with some bronzer and that. So it's not going to be the end of the world, but I get a funny feeling that it just might work anyway, because that's in my neck is very, very pale. It always is. Because I know when I put my sort of other shades on, when I blend down my neck, I can always see where I've covered it. Because I've had such a tan this year, it's a case of, you know, I've been blending my foundation to my body colour rather than my neck colour. So it's going to be a bit scary if this actually works. But I do forget how pale I get. So we're going to slap that on anyway like we would normally and just see. But let's say it's vegan, it's 24-hour wear. It's also supposed to be waterproof, so which is great if you're going out in the rain. It's not going to do anything nasty to it. But that's about all the information I've got on it really. So there isn't a lot of information about it. It doesn't say about any skincare in it or anything like that. But it was reduced from, I want to say something like about £31 to £20.60, I think I paid for it. But being lightweight, it is a medium buildable coverage. So it's a case of using Beauty Blender like I am, you're going to get more of a medium coverage out of it. But if you use a foundation paddle brush on it, you will get more of a full coverage with it. So it's just a case of how you like it. But it is one of the ones that you can tailor make it to how you like it. So let's have a look, see how we're looking. So if you look at that and look at my neck, you can see, I don't know whether you can see as well as I can, but that is, it almost looks like I don't need any foundation on my neck because it's already pretty much the same colour. So I'm just going to add a couple of little bit more on my cheek just to kind of build those up just a little, because I have got quite red skin. Just want to see if I can get rid of some of that and across my nose a little as well, just to see how we can kind of build it up a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy, just to see how we go. So yeah, you can see that's built up a little bit more than on the other side. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. But the trouble is I only take the smallest amount anyway. I don't like to go in heavy-handed from the start, because it is easier just to kind of add a little bit more rather than end up looking all cakey and horrible. Nobody wants that. But it's blending out really well, to be fair. Like I say, the colour isn't that pale for me, which I always find that scary. So I always forget how pale I really am. I think sometimes it's a case of you want to think that you're more sort of darker and tan than you actually are. But in my case anyway. But let's say, because I tan so well in the summer, then I do really go sort of ham with a darker foundation. But we are going to run some down my neck, only because this has got more slightly pinker undertones than my actual skin. even though the colour's pretty decent. I don't know whether you can see there, but I just want to make sure it is all blended in. But like I say, when I run it down, let's do that now, and blend that, you can see it just disappears. Now that's how a foundation colour should be, and that has just literally, you can barely see where I've put it there, barely see it. So it was the right colour. They recommended the 20 NN and I wasn't convinced. Absolutely wasn't convinced. You know, I'd done the colour match and all that online, and it's like I was looking at it going, I don't know, that looks a bit too dark for me. So I took a chance and I went for the paler one, and I think that was the right decision. I know when I opened the box, I was like, oh my God, how pale is that? It's like, that's never going to work for me. And I sort of swatched a bit and I thought, my God, that's never going to work. But looking at that, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, which is quite scary. Really scary, but yeah, absolutely scary. So I'm just going to go and do the rest of my face off camera, and I will be right back. Just thought I'd let you see how I have my makeup brushes set up before I start doing my face. I have to have them all cleaned and all lined up pretty much in the order that I use them. So I usually spot clean them all first, and then they're all lined up in a set order just to make my life a lot easier. But I'm very anally retentive about it, and I do it every single day that I do my makeup. So I just thought I would share that with you today. So I'm back with the rest of my face on, and this is how it's looking so far. It is, I think it's a little pale for me. I think I could have done with, even if it was just a shade darker, but when I tend to look down to my chest and kind of follow the line down, it really is a decent colour. I think I'm just used to seeing my skin a little darker, so it does actually work for me, I'm not going to lie. By the time I've bronzed it up, put all my blusher and that on, it does work, and it looks all right. Trouble is, it is dry, so I think if you're more of an oily skin, it would be a lot better for you. I've got quite dry skin, and I am finding it very dry on my skin, and it does look dry on my skin. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury one that I've got, again, which I find very drying on my skin. But I'm going to try it again with a moisturising primer underneath. I've got a couple now. I have invested in a couple, but just small ones just to try, see how I get on with them. Works really well with the Charlotte Tilbury one, so I'm hoping it'll work as well with this one. But on the upside, it being quite pale, that if I wanted to put a slight little bit of darker foundation in with it just to darken it up a bit, I can. So I'm not mad at it. Would I go out and buy the right shade or a slightly darker shade? Absolutely not, because like I say, for me it is very drying, so it's not my most favourite foundation I've ever used. So like I say, it comes in the similar category to my Charlotte Tilbury one. You know, they're both lovely, but they're both just very, very drying on my skin. But I think the overall look that that it looks, now I've finished everything, I think it does look nice. So I can't say that it looks horrible, because it doesn't. It's just I can feel that it's tight and dry, and like I say, it didn't go on as well as I hoped it would. Because it was dry, it was a little bit harder to blend out, even though it sort of seemed easy. There were certain areas that were a bit drier that I did notice that needed a little bit more blending than others. But on the whole, like I say, it looks good. I'm going to work like this, so if it looks rubbish, it's tough luck really. I haven't got time to redo it all. So, but if you're wondering what I'm wearing on my eyes, I have got the Jeffree Star Morphe palette. I'll just open that one up. There you go. And I've used some of the nude shades in this one today. When I had purple hair, very rarely wore nude shades. If I did, I wasn't feeling very well and I just wanted to slap something on quick and fast to get to work. But now I've got sort of this, I don't know what colour it is. Some people say it's blonde. Some people sort of think it's got more ginger. I don't know. It's just a multi-tonal hair colour I've got going at the moment. But nudes suit me with my hair colour like this. And same with red lipstick. Never worn red lipstick before. I changed my hair colour. Never ever in the whole of my life did I ever wear red lipstick. But the one I'm wearing today, I've had it a few weeks actually, and it's the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour one. So you've got your liquid lip at one end, and then you've kind of got the balm on the other end. Found it very patchy going on. I had to build it up quite a bit because it was quite streaky. But, and again, I do find it, now I've put the balm on, it's not quite so drying, so that's quite a good thing. And I think I would try this balm with my other Maybelline Superstay lipsticks just to see if it gives that little bit of moisture as well. But now I've put the balm on, a lot better. But prior to that, I'm like, oh my God, I felt like it was just sucking the life out of me. But yeah, so it's nice to actually be able to wear different colours. I can still wear all my purples and my pinks and whatever, but I can actually rotate now some nudes and into it and some red lipstick, which is nice. It is nice, like I say. I think it looks really nice. But I don't know, what's your opinion? I like it anyway, and that's the main thing. As long as I'm happy, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. So, thank you for watching, my lovelies, and I will see you on the next one.